As you decide, the race for South Carolina's 3rd Congressional District is on. It is now an open seat, so there are a lot of candidates. But this district covers a wide area and a lot of counties. It includes southern Greenville County, Oconee, Pickens, Anderson, Lawrence, Greenwood, and Abbeville, along with Newberry, Saluda, Edgefield, and McCormick. And one of the candidates running in the Republican primary for the 3rd Congressional District is Mr. Phil Healy. So, Mr. Healy, thank you so much for taking some time with us. I like to start these interviews the exact same way. You have served in the Navy. You now have a career in real estate. So why run for Congress?
To be the voice for the forgotten man and woman, because Congress is not listening to us. Congress does what they're going to do, and they've forgotten the average man and woman, and now the American dream is slipping away for many people with inflation, runaway inflation. And so I want to go up there and fight for the average American.
A lot of people are probably asking, what's in your hands? This is the national budget, correct?
Yes, this is the 1,012-page budget that they passed in one day without reading. I'm probably the only candidate in America that read the entire 1,000-page bill, and it's nothing but pork and liberal woke agenda.
You had said regarding the budget that we have to, quote, restore fiscal sanity back to the government. So how do you plan to do that when Republicans are having a tough time doing that currently on Capitol Hill?
Hopefully we build a majority. Hopefully we pick up a few more seats in November, and we're able to build alliances, much like we do in real estate. Build some alliances and bring people together and make some deep cuts to the budget. So eventually we can balance it, because they haven't had a balanced budget in 23 years since 2001, which is scary and bad.
The border is also a big issue for you. You have it listed all up and down your website. Yes. So when you look at how to solve the crisis at the border, what's the best approach in your opinion?
I'm for President Trump's wall, but really enforce the law. Just enforce the law and stop these people from coming in. They're not enforcing the law. They're just letting them come on through. Enforce the law, build the wall, and I'm for a drone operation so you can see who's coming before they even get to the border.
You are clearly a President Trump supporter.
Yes, sir.
Abortion will also be another key topic. He has said that he believes abortion should be left up to the states. On your website, you said you will fight adamantly to end abortion. Do you agree that abortion should be left up to the states?
Yes, it's a state's issue. Yes, it is a state's issue.
Even though some states will still allow abortion?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so you do believe that President Trump is correct in him saying it's left up to the states?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In regards of President Biden, you have said that there were some irregularities with the 2020 election. You also had a link on your website from the Washington Post of a poll that said 60% of GOP primary voters in Iowa do not believe Biden legitimately won the 2020 election.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe he did?
I do not.
You do not believe President Biden legitimately won the election?
I think he was selected.
Selected by who?
The establishment, the deep state, that was scared of Trump. They don't want Trump to make America great again. They want to push in their own agenda.
And despite all those lawsuits that were turned down and everything, and even now the charges that he faces?
The charges he faces are witch hunts. He's going to get off all of them. Just like he dropped 16 candidates back in 2015 in that primary, and then he overcame all the witch hunts. The Russia ended up being nothing. They just pulled out of some charges down in Atlanta because of the... They found out that phone call was a perfect phone call that he made with Raffensperger and Governor Kemp. He didn't ask him to do anything out of the ordinary. So he'll get off of this. This is all judicial. That's why we need judicial reform, because they're using the judicial system. And the American people can see through this. He's going to win in a landslide, barring more fraud. The American people can see the judicial. We need reform. They're using the judicial system to persecute President Trump and his family, and General Flynn for that matter. And General Flynn got off, thankfully.
You have been critical of Speaker Mike Johnson as well recently. There is an effort on Capitol Hill to oust him. Would you support that effort?
At this time, with the majority so slim, I'm not a supporter. He did say he would give them 3 days to read the bills. He only gave them 1 day, so he broke his pledge there. At this point, let him. They already have this through September 30th. let them go to September 30th, and then when we get the new House in January, let's get a new one then. Hopefully it'll be somebody stronger. We don't need to be doing this every 90 days, every 6 months. So yeah, I would support Mike Johnson. I think he's for what he's had to put up with, and he's under just as much pressure as President Trump from the left and the establishment. Let's let him stay there for a little while longer. I do like Mike Johnson. I just don't like that he only allowed, and I know why he did one day, because it was going to expire and then they're going to be without a budget. But it's a weekend. I think it was the weekends.
Running out of time just a little bit.
Okay.
I want to ask you, day one, what would you do in Congress on day one?
Get to work on the budget and hopefully see what we can cut. See what we can cut on the budget, and try and make President Trump's tax cuts permanent, and maybe dig deeper on the tax cuts as well. And then the border.
Okay.
Get funding for the border so we can close that border off and start a mass deportation plan.
Okay. Candidate Phil Healy, thank you so much for joining
Yes,
us.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. There it is.